Greetings, listeners. I am your host this evening, Zach Barrett, and welcome to this Twisted Gear Studios production. You are about to listen to The Call, our Call of Cthulhu actual playcast, GM'd by Derek Snow. Before we begin, if you're a fan and looking to support us, on our page you'll see a button to Ko-fi, a service where if you're interested, you can tip us a couple of dollars here and there. Each tip goes to buying a coffee for my late night editing sessions, which is much appreciated. Who knows, maybe in the future we'll even have enough support, we'll start adding features to the show, like videos, weekly releases, you never know. That being said, we hear that a happy birthday is in order for Liness. I hope I said that right. Either way, a happy birthday to you. And now, without any further delay.
The previous report from our investigators. Our team have quelled the ritual in the sewers of Boston. They now regroup at the mansion on the hill and figure out what it is they are to do next.
Okay, so as you all on the steps in front of the mansion on the hill,
Oh yeah.
finishing your smokes or your cigars, some whiskey, whatever else, you all decide.
Water.
Prohibition.
Sorry.
Keep that in mind, mister.
Oh, okay. I think we've made it clear that the
Nobody
mansion
here
on the
gives a
hill,
shit.
You've had whiskey here before. I'm pretty sure Agatha and Amos got drunk one night and had a delusion because they got lost in the
great
big
night.
house.
Honestly, let's be
Right.
honest. I'm probably
Yes.
lucky there's whiskey in the house at all anymore.
We're going off track, people, but
Yep.
that's okay. It's Cthulhu. At some point, you're all just sitting out there, a bit exhausted, doing your thing, which is really nothing at the moment. Cadbury comes out and says, "Oh well, supper's ready inside. So if you wanna, I'll come into the dining room,
Thank you,
formerly
Cadbury.
known as the breakfast ballroom."
There's the same room though. It's not different. It's the same room. It's not a different room that we haven't seen yet.
Well, it's not like we're gonna, open up the other eating areas.
Oh, of
when
course.
you already know your way to this one.
Yep.
Yep.
Of course. Why not? That
Gonna
makes sense.
heavily get up and
My God.
just go to the breakfast. Sorry, the dining hall now because it's past 5 p.m.
It's important.
Yeah, we're not going to be savages.
Savages.
The eating room.
Yep.
Isn't that just any room you're eating in?
Yes.
I'm gonna make sure I bring all of my equipment from the car. Your equipment.
Your equipment. So it's like
so you're
Highly
gone.
Your
in
gun.
from the car. It needs
So
to be
you're-
clean.
We're on my property now. You don't have to call it equipment.
Yes.
This is the one place you can call it a gun.
Yeah. Yep. But I'm gonna make sure everything that we had in the car is coming out of it. So
Yeah.
in the hall. So
okay, fair enough.
I'm not, because my luck rolls mean that I need to leave stuff in the cars to make sure it's there when I'm like, do I have this?
That's fair.
So my bag of many things is going back into the trunk of said car if it wasn't in there already.
Oh, okay, fair enough. The bag of luck rolls to see if it's in there.
Exactly.
That bag. Okay,
Yeah, that one.
Fair enough.
That bag, my
Fair
lucky
enough.
bag.
well, everyone's got one.
Okay, so you all head on in. Simon, who's with you guys, says, "Oh, okay. I'm not super hungry, like, ever. So I'm going to go get cleaned up and track down some nice clothes," as he looks down at himself with just, two mismatched boots, pair of pants and a coat on. Yeah.
I turn to Cadbury and I say, "Has Father O'Malley woken up yet?"
Yes, he's at the moment actually getting cleaned up as well. So I think he said he would be down shortly. I already
All right,
informed
then.
him. Yeah. He does have a bit of a headache though. So
Understandable.
So do we all.
haha. Okay, so you all go inside the dining ballroom. Take your usual table. A lot of there's a lot more tables that could be here, but they're all sort of over in one side of the ballroom, the dining ballroom, whatever what you want to call it, and they're sort of covered over. because it's not like it's needed to be out. Because if it's out, it needs to be maintained by the nameless servants. So it's easier for it to just be put aside.
And who wants to pay them a living wage? Not me.
Now, I'm assuming,
It's the 30s
we don't
and 20s.
need to get into it, but I'm assuming that Althea does pay her employees a proper wage.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course I do.
Okay, so...
Have you seen my credit rating?
Uh,
I was gonna say, have
Oh.
you seen Cadbury?
My God.
That too.
yeah, his room's made out of gold.
Let's be honest.
We would have found that out if we hadn't gotten drunk and went somewhere else.
I'm usually distracted
that's right,
enough
we're trying to
that
sneak in
I
his
might not
room.
even know what they get paid.
You probably don't. I'm saying that Cadbury is the one who makes sure that
Let's
they
put
get
it this
paid
way.
well.
Every
Probably.
individual in this house lives better than I do at my apartment before it exploded.
Yeah, that's
okay?
right.
Okay?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
you
there we
live
go.
like an animal.
It's true. It's true.
You
I'm not
heathen.
denying
You
this. It's even with the shit in the creepy theater in the basement, which I do not know about, but you know.
Anyway,
Right, that's
I
my creepy
digress.
theater. It took me a second to figure
I
out
know
what you
nothing.
were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh wait, my
Don't
theater.
worry, now you and Skeet have a secret. Anyway, so...
The face.
Yeah, that
The
can't go
face.
wrong.
That guy, Skeet's a good guy.
Oh yeah, Skeet's great.
He's great. You guys loved him
Oh, we still
Tell-
love him.
during the last arc.
Crazy. All right, so we're in the breakfast ballroom.
Yeah, you're just in the breakfast ballroom. Now, a couple of things I'm going to go over, one at a time, as I guess a GM does, is Amos. Everyone's pulling up a seat to sit down. Well, they have like a buffet line, so you pick up your food and you're going over to sit down. As you sit down, you feel and hear, and everyone can hear this loud, like, sort of bone grinding sound seem to come from your leg. Like a weird, like, pop.
Like from my leg or around my leg?
From your leg.
Doesn't
Doesn't hurt.
Uh,
And as you look down, at your leg, there's seems to be something. Your pants are pushed out. And as you look down and you lift up your pant leg,
I grabbed the gun before I lift up my pant leg.
oh, okay, fair enough. You grab your gun and you lift up your pant leg, and you're expecting maybe one of those white slugs.
Yeah, that's
or
exactly
something.
what I'm expecting.
But it's not. It's one of the bones in your leg
Yeah.
is literally pushed out of the side of your leg, and it's bleeding, but it doesn't hurt.
sit down. Oh my
Medic!
god,
Oh,
sit
he-
down.
yeah,
I'm
just
in the
sat down.
process of sitting.
Cadbury.
What's happening? I run over and I look over and you're like, Jesus Christ!
I was blown out of
There
a
is a
third-story window.
I run over and I put like I just grab the first thing made of cloth that I can find and sort of try to press it to the wound, and I'm yelling for Cadbury. Cadbury, we need your help.
Great idea, Marion. And as she wraps up my leg, I'm just taking the flask. I'm just pouring it all over the cloth that's now wrapping up my leg.
Yeah. Okay,
And then
so
I drink it.
I'm just gonna look at Althea and being like, why is Cadbury involved? I'd be asking her. Like,
I mean,
she's a,
I am a doctor.
She cuts up dead people.
Still a medical-
Cadbury is a
It's fair.
field medic.
I'm not quite dead yet.
but as you're putting the cloth on, on the area where the bone is, you're just touching the bone, and it just clicks back into his leg. And
Do I
there's
feel it?
you feel the pressure. You know what I mean? Like something moving, and it just clicks back into your leg, and you're like, "Ooh."
So without even looking, because I'm
Yeah.
looking at the bottom of a flask up towards the ceiling. I just go, whoa, ooh. Marion, I didn't know you were such a good medic. What the hell? Looking at the legs.
Yeah.
I look over at Althea and I was like, I
while that's happening,
This
I'm
is
gonna go
not-
vomit in a corner.
To answer
Okay.
your initial question, no, that's not normal. At least not in anything I've seen. So
Put bones back
Althea
into
just
legs? That happens all the time.
walk over to Amos and just kind of like go down and like
Kick him in the leg. No,
well,
sorry.
just kind of like just bear with me and just kind of like touch his leg and see how
Okay,
it feels.
so
Hey,
as-
Doc.
can you roll me a medicine check?
Okay.
while she's inspecting it, I'm going to be
Watch
asking
me.
like silly
I'll
questions
roll
like,
100. Crack. I'm so sorry.
oh god. So until something bad happens, while she's inspecting my leg, I'm going to be asking silly questions like, so how many weeks am I supposed to stay off the bloody thing then?
9% out of
Damn.
70.
Wow.
70. Yeah, 'cause she's a doctor.
That's pretty
She didn't
good.
break your leg.
Use her tick in medicine, please.
She succeeds
She's a
and then
forensics
breaks my
expert,
leg.
but her background is
No, I'm just saying, is that an extreme success?
yes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it is. Because anything below a 14 or less, or 70 would be extreme
Nicely
success.
done.
Extreme success. So what you realize is, as you're just feeling the musculature and
Yeah.
his
Yeah, work
leg
out.
feels weird,
Mhm.
as in like the bones aren't where they're supposed to be, and the musculature seems to be moved as well, slightly. And like you step back and look at it, and it basically looks like just a leg, like the calf and everything else. But
As
there's
she's,
something deeply wrong with it.
as she's grabbing my leg and looking confused, I'm just like, I'm old, not out of shape.
I'm gonna stand up, and then I'm going to just kind of reach out and touch his forearm, feel his forearm as well.
So you want to feel his arm as well?
Yeah.
Which arm?
All right, Doc.
Same arm as the same side of the leg.
Yeah, so
like,
left
yeah.
leg. Left
Yeah.
arm. Okay.
Yeah.
So you start feeling his arm, and as you're going up the arm seems okay.
Mhm.
Everything's where it's supposed to be. But then you get to the shoulder, and it's like, oh, this is weird, because the way the clavicle and everything else is set, it's like too low or to the side. It's almost like it's disjointed, but it's not. It's just really strange
It
as you're
feels like
feeling
it should be disjointed, but it doesn't look disjointed.
Yes.
Are X-rays a thing in the 1920s?
You don't have one, and I'm not requiring a luck check to see if you do.
That makes sense.
I don't own an X-ray machine that
Well
might
done,
or might
well
not have
dodged,
existed
Derek.
in the 1920s. How rude!
It's
Well
probably
done.
pure radiation too. So-
In the name of science, I mean, okay.
Want a
I'm-
third eyeball? We're gonna give you one.
Yeah, like grow out of my ass. Oh, okay, Doc, you're getting a little.
Just wait here for a moment. I'm gonna go find Simon.
Okay, so Althea says, wait here, and runs out of the room.
When she walks out after a couple seconds of silence, they just kind of look around at the two that are left and
I
So,
have finished
do I-
vomiting in the corner.
do I stay off the leg or what?
Jesus,
I-
fucking don't move.
Says the
There's-
alienist.
I don't think there's need for quite that. Althea seems to think that you're fine for now.
Yep.
Until she comes back, I'd recommend you stay sitting, just in case.
That's fair. And then
and you drink and continue to eat breakfast. As I'm gonna, unless somebody else has
Dinner?
anything. Lunch.
Food.
It could be eating breakfast.
I'm eating
Who
food.
knows?
At this
Yeah.
point,
Yeah,
it doesn't
sorry,
matter.
it's just you're there for breakfast so often,
I know.
right?
I
Whether
eat
it's
breakfast for
brec-
every meal of the day.
whether
You're
it's-
welcome, Derek.
It's the most important meal in the mythos.
I was
which is
gonna
why
say,
you should
have it 3
breakfast,
times a
lunch,
day.
or dinner. It's still
It's
bacon.
the beginning of the
No.
last day of your life.
No.
Every day is
Every
for
day.
Amos.
Althea,
Mm-hmm.
you run off to find Simon.
Yep.
And as luck would have it, as you run to one of the sort of bath areas.
Raiding my closets.
No, you see him, and he's only been gone for like 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes have passed. Time takes you to get your food, get ready, sit down. Amos's bone comes out of his leg,
Mhm.
usual stuff.
The
Come here.
Simon is walking actually out of the library,
Okay.
and he has like 3 books in his hand, and he's dressed in like a suit. He's got a suit on, it fits him perfectly.
Do I recognize the suit?
It looks to be a suit that your father owned, but it seems like Simon is more is thinner, than your father. But it seems to fit Simon perfectly, like it's been taken in. But he has some books in his hand, and it's the first time you've seen it. Simon looks surprised to see you. He's just like, "Ugh! Oh, hey, I thought you were eating that pesky thing."
Yeah. So the conversation about you wearing my father's clothing for later.
Well, I mean, he's deceased, correct? So really, it's just clothes?
The fact that you're wearing my father's clothes aside.
But look how good I look at it.
Amos has a shattered
Christ.
left leg.
A shattered left leg. Oh, I'm assuming he's got almost every bone in his body broken. Oh, he'll be fine.
I was afraid you were going to say that. All right.
Yeah, well, he fell out of a window
Blown
through a car.
into.
Yeah.
And through.
Yeah, he's in his inner, like, it's going to take a long time for it to repair itself. I mean, he's probably going to be fine. The stuff inside of him that he's now imprisoning isn't going to let him die. It's going to keep him alive to corrupt him. Like Albert Gall.
I'm sorry. What? I'm
It
not
didn't
there.
let him die either, I'm assuming, so it corrupted him. They don't really have a form as such. They're like, I don't know how you'd want to put it, but he'll be fine. It's just that every now and then a bone might pop out, or he's just got to be more careful. I mean, he can't just, get blown out of windows all over the place. It might help him, actually, because like his organs might be in different areas, so people might think they're stabbing him in the heart, but they're really stabbing him in the, I guess in the liver would still suck.
In the not heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you want me to change my clothes? I mean, Skeet said he could find me something, but I'm a bit wary about that one. I mean, clothes-wise. Look at him.
It's fine. Keep it.
Oh, okay. I don't want to keep it. It's just I'm just borrowing it. It is your father's clothes, after all.
Damn.
He has no tact.
He doesn't.
am
No.
developing more questions than I know if I have patience to find the answers for.
Oh, you're finally getting it. You're finally. Oh, and he sort of claps your shoulder, and he's like, "Welcome to the team." And he turns around and starts walking down the hall.
Oh my
Amazing.
Should we... Is there anything we should do?
And he sort of stops and looks back over his shoulder.
Like-
Do about what?
I mean, his insides. Is he gonna start... I mean, will it shift about so that, he... I don't know, becomes floppy on one side or something?
Oh, no. No, it's basically trying to repair its shell. I don't know how else to put it. It's trying to repair it. Well, of course, now, if he ever... I was always very careful and made sure that whenever stuff like this happened to me, that I was... how do you put it? Surgically or through other means, was made sure that everything was put back the right way. But if it ever comes a point where he stops, like he loses the, how do I put it nicely? He loses the sins, he loses the evil, he loses that substance that's within him now, then of course he would just probably immediately die, because they're the only thing keeping them together after that fall. I mean, you can tell him if you want. I wasn't gonna, because he's fine. I mean,
we'll just what's that phrase? We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
yeah, I never liked that phrase, bridge noises. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, I've never really liked that phrase, but okay, cross that bridge. But I mean, how else would you cross the bridge? You gotta cross it when you get to it.
Jesus Christ.
Right?
Yes. Unfortunately, our recent trajectory feels more like we're probably going to launch ourselves into the river. But anyway, you go on. Can I see what books he has with him?
Yeah, they just seem to be, like European history books. like written from hundreds of years ago, like
Right.
old manuscripts that have been rebound. Did you want to ask him about it?
I'll
Okay.
just say, just do whatever. Careful with those.
Well, of course, they're books. They need to be shown the utmost respect, or well, you know. He looks at you, and he just keeps saying it, right? Right? Yeah,
I'm gonna go,
I know.
and then I'm going to leave Simon, and I'm gonna go to my what do we call it? The laboire? I'm gonna go
The
to the
laboire.
laboire for just a moment to collect something.
Okay, so you head on down to the laboire,
Mhm.
and at this point, I'm going to go back to the rest of the party in the dining room because Althea has been gone for around 5 to 10 minutes, and she hasn't came back. By the time she found him coming out of the library and was talking to him, so I didn't know if you guys wanted.
I'm just eating like I got out of care in the
I'm
room.
going to see where Althea is because, for heaven's sakes, I'm not hungry now. So I'm going to go and find her and see if she found Simon.
As she's leaving, I'm like, it's not that bad. If you want some, share.
No,
All right.
I'm okay. Just give me a second.
You want some?
Sure. I'm eating my supper, but like I'm watching Amos while I do so.
I'm just being an
I
ass.
have a glass of water and I'm like doing that thing where I'm slowly sipping from it, trying to not vomit again.
Everything we've seen, and that's what makes you go and vomit in the corner spontaneously. I love
When
it.
you see someone's bones sticking out of their body,
I love it.
no.
It's fun. Oh, I didn't mean I love seeing people's bones. I mean,
I don't know what you
sure
like.
Althea
You
does,
have the
but
weirdest fucking job ever.
yeah.
But anyway,
it's pretty cool.
I go and try and find you.
Hmm.
Okay,
So,
and I'm assuming that Amos and Marion are just going to continue eating with Marion, watching him, making
Chow
sure that he's
down.
not falling apart.
Yep.
You do notice, of course, there is no orange juice to be found. Period. There's probably no
Whiskey.
oranges that could be found on the property.
Probably not.
No. Damn, all that citrus.
Look what you did. Look what you done.
What
That
I've
was
done.
that was you, right?
No, I don't think so. Maybe?
Whiskey.
No, thank you.
All right.
Okay, moving on.
Hmm.
So, Althea, as you finish talking to Simon, you're heading to the laboire. As, I love it.
The laboire.
The laboire. I have just...
Well, don't read it.
You'll understand it in a moment.
Okay, so I was just handed a note that I had to read from Althea.
You don't have to read it out loud.
I'm not reading it out loud, otherwise it would defeat the purpose of a note.
What are you, a teacher? Jeez.
Okay, fair
Read
enough.
the notes out loud.
Okay, fair enough. But as you're about to head down to the laboire, you see Agatha walking up the hallway.
okay.
You both spot each other at the same time.
That's
Perfect.
convenient.
Conversation ensues.
I'm gonna run up to you, and I think my first question is gonna be: do you have what would be the equivalent of like a Tums back then, or something like that? I'll have a seltzer.
Yeah.
Seltzer.
You said I'm on my way to the lab. Or-
Well, you said you were going to the
Going to,
laboire.
yeah,
Remember,
okay.
there's a stairway
Yeah.
that goes down.
Okay.
To the,
So I'm gonna be like, can I have a seltzer? I'm not feeling too great. This is awful.
Sure. Just come on with me. I'm just stopping in here for a
Yeah.
minute anyway.
Were you able to find Simon?
Yeah, he's in the library. He gathered some books and such.
Does he have any insight what that was?
He said we don't really need to worry about it. I mean, it's obvious that Amos isn't really feeling much discomfort, if any, and he's been functioning just fine since we got him. So he told me that we shouldn't have to worry about it. It's very similar to himself.
And you're satisfied with that answer?
No,
You're not?
I'm not.
You're
However,
not there.
the other options to find out all would include having Amos on my surgery table. So that would be the other option.
So it is as bad as I think it is.
Well, it seems like perhaps he's got maybe a couple of fractures and such, but it seems, judging from what I could tell, that they're healing okay. I just wanted to double check with Simon that there might not be something else that I need to be aware of.
Can I roll a psychology check to see
Okay.
if I can?
see if she's leaving something out.
Yes.
There is an extent of what you're leaving out. So it would be a
Psychoanalysis?
no. It's psychology, but charm
Whoa.
or fast talk.
Charm would be better. I have no ranks in
but
either.
it's basically the idea of persuasion. So
Right.
we're gonna go in a.
There is a persuade as well.
Sorry, that's. I guess I haven't been running this game long enough.
Fast talk is 5%. Persuade is 10, and charm
It's
is
never
15.
long enough.
It
You
depends
never
on
run
the
a game long
method
enough.
you're using.
I'm just being casual. As in trying to
Persuade.
make her not worry.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's fair.
So it would be a psychology versus persuade.
Okay.
Because
Well,
you're not overly trying to be
I
charming.
have the
otherwise
base
you
in
could use.
persuade, so.
Yeah, it's just an opposed roll.
Oh yeah, well, 83 out of 55. I don't think I win.
Oops.
49 out of 10.
So basically, the way it works is because you both failed, because it's basically based on if you get a normal success, she gets a hard success, extreme success.
Right.
But when both people fail, you can't really tell if she's leaving something out.
Okay.
It's not like she's tricking you. It's just that you can't really. You think there might be, but you're not sure. You can't tell. There's no.
Not enough to confront her
Yeah,
about
because
it, essentially. That's
yeah,
what you're saying.
exactly.
Fair enough. Okay. All right.
Okay,
Okay, so we can go into the labour.
All right.
because that's where the seltzer is.
Yes, seltzer. And I'll get her a glass, and I'm assuming I have water in the area.
I already have a water glass with me. I've been doing that, so I'll
perfect.
just add the
So
seltzer
I'll
to
just
the-
give her a seltzer.
Yeah.
And while she's doing that, I'm going to grab a vial with some liquid in it and a syringe.
Okay, so you're not down in the lab bar yet.
Oh,
You're
okay.
at the stairs to head down to the lab bar.
Oh,
Okay, so you don't have your seltzer yet, and I don't have my.
Okay, fair enough.
my
So you
syringe
proceed
yet.
to head down
Yes.
to the lab bar.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. So as you open up the door to the
Mhm.
stairs,
Yep.
you walk down the stairs. As you're walking down the stairs, you both hear like a rattling. Like there's something rattling around down here. And as you walk down the stairs, you see Skeet. And he seems to have a pile of stuff out, and he's sort of like cleaning things, like different, just different things around the room, pans, stuff like that. But he seems to be just cleaning up down there. He seems to be whistling to himself. I can't really whistle. Can't really do accents either, but you know. But he just seems to be whistling to himself. Doesn't really notice you, and
Judging much.
he's just cleaning up.
Skeet,
And he just turns around. And he's like, "Oh, what's on the go?
what are you doing down here?
Cleaning up."
From?
I don't think you guys realize how much you use this place. You're down here constantly. It's a mess. I just figured, I had it in my mind to do a bit of cleaning up. That's what you hired me for. Take care of stuff. Keep the place up and running nice and smooth.
I'm just thinking Skeet's just being Skeet because I haven't had any other experiences other than Skeet, so.
Yeah, Skeet is just being Skeet. It's just that now you seem to have thinking there's a sinister reason behind everything he does.
I don't know if sinister, but there's something else.
You do notice also that there's a large jug of orange juice on one of the tables.
That's the sinister.
So he was in the breakfast
around
ballroom
tw-
at some point.
It is around 25. 25% of it's gone. I mean, it's like 3/4 full. Yeah, just clean up. What was should I not clean up down here?
No, it was just, I'm not seeing you really in the lab doing much. Just surprised.
I've been down here a fair amount. I'm down here all the time.
Yeah.
If it's all right with you, Ski, going forward, I usually like to take care of my lab myself.
I never even thought about it. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's quite all right.
It's
I
all personal to
I
you,
mean-
like my treehouse.
so we'll just,
It's mine.
I'll get her the seltzer,
Yeah.
and I'll grab what I wanted.
A syringe.
Yeah, a syringe and the little vial of liquid.
A little
And,
bottle of liquid, yes.
I'll
Oh, yes, that makes sense.
I'll say, all right, Skeet, let's go, because we don't have time.
Okay, just, you don't want me to finish up at all?
No, that's all right.
Oh.
Don't forget your orange juice.
And he brightens right up. Oh. And he goes and he takes his jug of orange juice, takes a swig of it, and he's just like, "So I'm good, boy. So good. And he
Made a
goes on,
monster.
Yeah.
and he goes on up the stairs ahead of you, and he's sort of looking back at you, and he's just like, I did good, though. I mean, I've been cleaning this place up. I mean, servants are afraid to come down here.
Well, that's because they know I that I like to take care of it myself. That's all.
That usually doesn't cost fair, but okay. He just keeps walking up the stairs. Then he just disappears around the corner. I'm assuming you don't want to follow him. He's just...
I do, but I don't have time.
He's just being skeetsy.
Today we should do an episode, The Day in the Life of Skeet.
That might be more
Well,
interesting
listen,
than we
he
think
owes
it
me
is.
explanations for some things.
Does he?
I don't think so. I think you owe him explanations for some things.
No.
No?
My house-
How about the party? Oh, don't give me that look. This is audio. So... Or...
Holy cow.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
Fair enough.
I'm gonna take the Alka-Seltzer, put it in there, pop, fizz, whatever wonderful thing it is,
Yeah.
and just drink
Pop,
it.
pop, fizz, fizz. What a wonderful thing it is.
It's probably a
Used to be the
powder.
old hat.
Probably a powder.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, let me smell that first. Okay, yeah, seltzer.
What? All right.
It could
Liquor.
have been Coke.
White powders, man.
It's morphine.
This is the 20s.
Yeah.
Gonna take it. Oh, that feels a little bit better. Thanks.
It was Coke.
You're welcome. You know, I find if you
I
put a
put
little
that
touch
shit
of
on
opium in it,
everything.
it really helps calm the nerves and the stomach.
Yeah, I would imagine it would. I'm okay though. Thanks.
I mean, you're fine, and we'll just go
Okay, so you're heading back to the dining
Yeah, I would think so.
to yes.
Question from the dining hall.
DBR.
So when Amos's leg bone, basically when his femur popped out of his leg, and then went back, is this the cut that was formed? Has that healed?
No.
Okay.
No, it has seemed to have stopped bleeding, but there seems to be the slit,
A hole.
and the skin around the side of it looks like it was tore because, like, it was yanked out.
Yeah.
But it seems to just be sitting there. It's not really bleeding. But yeah, he could probably stick his finger in there.
Kind of like do very briefly, and then I go, I mean, shouldn't we be
Cover that.
covering this up?
Yes.
Yeah. With what?
So he
I
dips his
grab a
finger in his-
towel and I just throw it on my leg.
Is
Done.
Cadbury still nearby?
Oh, you still wanted Cadbury to
Well,
come, of course.
If Cadbury was nearby, I would ask him for bandages
Okay.
I got
because
So-
Althea is
leg wound.
gone. So.
Okay. So yeah, and they've been gone a little bit now.
Mhm.
So what happens is Cadbury does eventually come in. It's like, Marion, one of the servants, employees of the Mansion on the Hill, said that you were looking for me?
Yes.
You called out or something?
Amos. We're not entirely sure, but he has a severe cut on his leg. Do you have bandages?
Yeah, severe
Oh.
cut, more like bone protruding from leg.
Not
Oh,
anymore.
Yeah. Sure.
Should pop back in.
He's just like looking at you like, "Whew. Okay, I'll go get a first aid bag with
Yes,
some
please,
bandages
thank
and
you.
stuff like that. Yes, and he leaves, and then Althea and Agatha both show up again.
Althea, did you find Simon?
Yeah, he was in the library.
With the
And?
stick.
Amos has a couple of injuries, obviously.
No
But
shit.
they seem to be healing okay. So I just wanted to double check with Simon to
when
make
she
sure.
says that, I'm gonna pull the towel off and kind of poke my finger in the leg.
Please don't.
Yeah, it just seems to go in a
I
little
feel
bit.
off again.
I'm just
So I mean, healing maybe.
outside
Feels
of this,
weird.
outside of character. I'm just thinking about what Simon said and half expect like a little hand to just pull up a curtain and just pull it across. You can't see in here while we fix this, or just take it and go.
Dude,
Okay, so that was a little bit strange.
Anyway.
That's okay.
Sorry. Anyway.
That's okay. We
Yeah,
love you. anyway.
I just wanted to check with Simon
Wow.
to make sure that, you know, with other things that have happened, that there wasn't anything I might need to be aware of with regards to his healing. He said that it should be fine. There was nothing to worry about. And so I just brought a little something, maybe just in case you end up with a little bit of pain. This should help a bit. And you can see I hold the vial and there's a little label on it that's on there with and it just says for the very worst pain on it.
that's what the vial says?
Yes.
Oh, give it over.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I'll just take out a little bit, and I'll give Amos a needle.
Okay.
Say, this should help. And give him a little pat.
Put her there. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't feel any different. It doesn't hurt to begin with.
I was expecting. Little
You
wooey,
feel you
but-
actually do though. After around 5 minutes, and then we'll get back tugging. But after around 5 minutes, you start feeling like a little bit warm.
Ooh.
Not feverish, but just
Yeah.
warm.
All right. Yeah, I can get behind this. This is all right.
Perfect.
What
Yeah.
a life Amos has lived. Just being slightly warm is like, this is heaven.
Life is cold and miserable. I would say, have you seen my apartment? It's not much better than it was.
Well, at least it's warm and miserable. Hot, even.
For about 2 seconds, and then it rained.
That's fair.
Yeah. I was there. I would know. It was unpleasant.
At this point, unless there's something else you all would like to talk about before I jump in with something else, you guys just finishing up now.
Yeah, we're all filthy and eating our food.
Yeah, essentially.
I am going to ask Marion and Agatha both to roll an idea roll. Which I believe still is. Yeah, it's an intelligence. It's an intelligence roll.
Oh, I see.
Nice.
31 out of 65. So that is the not hard.
Hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Sorry.
6.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Of an intelligence of?
65.
There you go. So yeah, you both rolled really well. The only reason I'm bringing it up is when you were at the library, you did succeed on library use checks.
That's right.
But
right.
there's been so much stuff that's happened, you haven't been able to think about it. You know what I mean? Because it's been constant from the explosion and everything else.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of
Police.
information that you now remember. Now you didn't get the full 4 hours, but I'm pretty sure you also rolled quite well. At least one of you rolled well, but I know you both passed. Or if they didn't, I'm a rat in it. They did. I'm pretty sure you did. I know you rolled well anyway. At least one of you. First off, which one of you? I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. That Marion was wondering about the Silver Twilight Lodge.
Yep.
And I believe Agatha was specifically looking for things to do with Carl Stanford.
Yes,
Right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it was laid out.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Now, basically, it also depends on the amount of information that would actually be in the library for you to figure out. I'm going to start off with Agatha. So it just pops into your mind. It's just been hectic down in the sewers. It's just been this constant.
Yep.
So you haven't had a chance. So you did find under a periodical or an old newspaper clipping an old picture of Carl Sanford at the library. Like a picture, like it, but it's inked. It's
Like a
it's not
lithograph?
clear. It's not clear. Is my
Okay.
point. When a newspaper runs,
Right.
right? And it at the time it just pops in your head. It did look a lot like Skeet, like cleaned up though. Not cleaned up like Ulrich Fannin, the other guy who looks like Skeet. Yeah, but it did have a resemblance to Skeet.
Was there any specific markings that might have been different than Skeet?
Yeah, one thing you noticed, you weren't sure if it was the ink or not, or a mix-up, but it seemed that he had some pock marks on his left cheek. There seemed to be like a slight scarring from something, is another way to put it.
Okay.
But you weren't really sure if it was actually there.
Like a
or was
misprint or something.
or a
like
misprint,
that.
but it
Okay.
seemed, and also where Skeet likes to have his hair wild and free.
Yeah.
This person's hair is trimmed fairly short and professional in the picture, and the picture was from a few years ago, but you couldn't find any record of Carl Stanford before then.
Okay.
Okay, but that's basically what you found out. There's only so much you're gonna find, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's because it is something that Simon, I believe, yes, Simon brought up, or was it Father O'Malley? Now I'm confused myself about how Carl Stanford looks like Ski.
Yeah.
Right.
It had been brought up before.
I have it in my notes, people. But I'm going to continue with the game.
Are you guys saying all this information out loud while we're
I'm
here?
just going to give them the information.
Yeah,
because,
that's-
now I'm going to move on to Marion, who you were specifically looking up information about the Silver Twilight Lodge.
Yeah.
And you sort of hit a dead end because, Silver Twilight Lodge, it just seemed to appear out of nowhere. But, that's crazy. It was just, renovated really quick. You pay the right people. It gets built really well.
Mhm.
That's just how it works. But that didn't really stop you. What languages do you speak?
Just English and a minimal amount of Latin.
Okay, minimal amount of Latin. That works out really well. Because you started looking at more. You had to go back so far because you couldn't find anything in the 1900s. In the last 20 years, other than the last few years, right? Last number of years, I should say. Vague enough. But you started looking back into, any reference to it at all. And with your little bit of Latin, you find basically just out of nowhere, just randomly, just flicking through a book, the name of an organization known as, in Latin, of Argentum Crepusculum. Crepusculum. That's how you say it.
How do you spell that?
Crepusc.
CREPUSC
ULUN.
Yeah, that's Latin.
Crepusculum.
Yeah.
Argentus?
Argentum.
Argentum.
Crepusculum.
What does that mean?
Silver Twilight.
Oh.
In Latin. And as
Very original.
And as you start then looking for it under that name. Now, it wasn't referred to as a lodge.
Right.
It was, an organization from the Middle Ages.
Wow.
That the name pops up in legends and history books, fairy tales and stuff. Usually around the time that the world sort of changes. So, there was references to it in regards to around the time of the bubonic plague. There's references to it around the time of the burning of Alexandria. There's references to it, the burning of the Library of Alexandria. The worst thing.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bring it up because people argue with me. I'm still mad about that.
Okay.
They burned the books.
Yeah.
Burned the Library of Alexandria.
Yeah.
The accumulation of human knowledge at that point. It's just, Anyway, yeah, so basically, but then at that point there was a phone call, you had to go talk to Amos, and then there was a grenade.
It was
And,
kind of exciting.
fuck, boom,
Oh, fuck, boom.
And then
That's
people
pretty
going
accurate.
crazy in the streets, and then in the sewers, and then back for food.
Mass hysteria.
Yeah, so that's the information that's sort of, because I feel you needed to have that information, there just wasn't a chance to give it to you.
Yep.
Okay. So now, converse.
So I know what Carl Stanford looks like.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, he looks a lot like Skeet.
Oh, yeah, that's the second time we've heard that now.
Yeah, but I mean, he looked cleaner.
That's not exactly hard.
He might have scarring. I don't know. It was a very old newspaper clipping from a couple of years ago. Could have been a smear or whatever, but like,
how far back does your information on Carl Stanford go?
you didn't give me a year. You just said a couple
I
of years.
kept it vague on purpose.
Yeah. So so it's just maybe a couple years. That's
Yeah.
what I got from from what I had. But I mean, he just looked like he had some, I don't know, scarring or something on the left cheek. That's pretty well. But again, can't swear by it. Like I said, it very easily could be a glitch in the glitch. They wouldn't know what a
Skeets
glitch.
did say that he has family members all over.
Yeah, but all of them looking like him.
Yeah, at
That
this point,
seems weird.
Skeet's not in the room, is he?
No, he's not.
Can we close the door to the breakfast ballroom?
No, it's usually open. You can close it if you want. It's a double door, right?
I'm gonna go and slide that shut.
And at this point, I'm also going to have Agatha roll another idea roll. Yeah.
That's intelligence, right?
Yeah.
So 36 out of 65.
Nice.
Okay, you realize that you didn't, it was more than a couple of years, it just clicks back into your mind that the reference for Carl Stanford showed up like the first time that there was any clipping, not of him, a picture of him, but clipping talking about him because he's influential, is around 1918. So it's around 5 years ago, because it is 1923.
Actually, I think that picture was from 5 years ago. Yeah, 1918.
Oh.
All right, that's not a coincidence.
Face like a chewed up crab apple.
Well,
No, we saw what happened to that gentleman.
How
Hang
bad
on a
was
sec
his
here.
face?
Oh, no, that was Heinrich, who was faced like a chewed up caramel.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
he had scarring and stuff on one side of his face.
Yeah, but he had been in the war
Yeah.
during this time.
But Carl Stanford also looks like that he had. You're not sure if not, depending on the ink running, that there was.
I can't tell if
Could be
it's from like
damage to the side of
natural
his face.
causes. I can't tell it's from shrapnel. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Mm.
I'm sorry. I just know that I think that I saw scarring on the
Okay.
left cheek.
1918.
1918.
It
Ladies
could
and
have been from the
gentlemen,
war.
There's a couple of coincidences here that are a bit too problematic to ignore, so let's go over some stuff here, shall we? So, we have a Carl Stanford that's involved in the creation of Silver Twilight Lodge. Am I correct in that?
Perhaps not. I've found references to the Silver Twilight Lodge, or rather, an organization with a similar enough name to not be a coincidence, dating back centuries. He
All
could
right.
have been involved with the founding of this particular branch, but it's an old organization from what I can tell.
Okay, I'm going to state a couple of facts that I have written down, and then we're going to see how much is coincidence and how much other bits of information we might be able to add to fill in these blanks. Alright? So the first recorded bit of information that we could find in public record of Carl Stanford was 1918. Skeet happens to look fairly terrifyingly similar, minus the scarring on his cheek.
You did say it was an old photograph.
Like I said, it could be a misprint. I have no idea.
Could be a number of things. We also know that
don't
Skeet looks a
necessarily
lot
look
like-
a person in real life.
We also know that Skeet looks a lot like Ulrich Fannin,
Influential banker, for those listeners.
who has currently the whereabouts we don't know.
Although Skeets did admit that is his cousin.
Yeah, Skeet's admitted a lot of stuff. So, Ulrich Fannin is missing at current. Walter Corbett, we had... What are some... I'll come back to Walter Corbett. Michael Thomas, though. He owned that church that you had an unfortunate run-in with in the basement there, where Gall set up shop with the top shelf.
So that would be the Church of Contemplation.
Yeah.
Church of Our Lord, Granter of Secrets.
That's a long name. However, he escaped custody afterwards in 1917. We don't know anything about that ever since. However, also in the same year, Walter Corbett bought that church soon after Thomas's escape, and we know that Walter Corbett is somewhat involved in both Swill's Gullet and the Silver Twilight Lodge with Carl Stanford. Didn't somebody find any information about Walter Corbett existing well longer ago?
We also have Ulrich Fannin being arrested in 1917.
Yes, he was arrested as being a con man in 1917. You're right, I do have that here. So, that's a lot of coincidences.
Around a short period of time, yeah.
I'm sensing that either Skeet's related to a very good con artist, who's really good at dressing up, and they happen to look similar, or Skeet may very well be our con man, the man of many faces.
That seems a bit of a jump.
Yeah, have you seen Skeet? You're talking about the same guy who ripped up flooring to make a treehouse and blew up a still.
Yes,
That's Skeet?
This is the same man that ripped up the flooring and made a treehouse out of it. I couldn't do that, could you?
You're
Well,
also talking about the man who has put himself on the line to save us many times.
And has actually fortified equipment to well beyond anybody
You're assuming
I know.
You're
like,
assuming that if we saw any of these 4 men in person, that they would want to kill us or not treat us kindly.
Are you talking about like keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer kind of deal? Is that what you're asking?
It's possible.
or-
I'm saying that we shouldn't dissuade the possibility, or at least there's some kind of connection. That's 3 instances of familiarity between Skeet and 4 of our top people that we're looking into.
I'm gonna ask you a question. If we ask Skeet questions, do you think we're gonna get a clear answer out of that
Oh
man?
hell no! I'm not saying we do that at all. I'm just saying that we keep it in the back of our minds as we move forward.
Is there any, and I'm gonna look at Althea, medical way, like a truth serum to give Skeet, possibly?
Also consider that he was the only member of Swill's Gullet alive when we got there. If he is Walter Corbett, it would have been an
No,
excellent
he talked about
alias.
mom, whatever her name was, that we could have possibly gotten lodged. He wasn't the only survivor there.
He was the only one
He
who
was
would
the
know
only one
who
that we
left.
found.
Fair enough.
He said if he's lying about this, then he could be lying about whoever else was left.
Althea.
If he's the only,
Unfortunately, not that I'm aware of.
would have been an excellent alias to get out of town.
So there's nothing that we could...
Nothing was stopping him from leaving town.
Do you have?
Something was stopping us from leaving.
Can we just? I'm just going to step in for a quick second. Do you have pharmacology? Like pharmacy?
I have pharmacy, yeah.
Roll pharmacy. Because if you're trying to think about medical ways to make people talk, that would be the role.
Opium would probably
Pharmacists are amazing. Let's be clear. They know their stuff.
They're alchemists, modern alchemists. It's fine.
Lend to gold.
29 out of 41.
Put a tick.
Ooh.
First tick in the pharmacy I've ever given.
That's actually awesome.
There are things that you could give him that would help loosen his tongue a little. But knowing Skeet, his tongue seems to be pretty loose anyway. There are techniques you could try, different things that you could inject him with, but it borders on unethical. But there are ways that you could. There are things you know what I mean.
I don't feel like
Certain
we're at
thing-
that stage.
Yeah,
Yet.
there are
So-
things you could give him, but it is a bit unethical.
It's an assumption.
Here's the
Wouldn't
thing
it?
about
Yeah.
Skeet. Amos is definitely right. There's too many coincidences, and I do think that there is more to Skeet, or more that he knows or understands than he is letting on to us. However, it's also evident that one or more of us would not be here anymore if not for his intervention.
True.
So,
What
I'm
if...
not saying these men are evil. I'm just saying that these men are connected to what we're looking
there are questions.
He might give us more information though, because he says they're cousins, right? You'd think that he would know maybe something like, what about hypnosis?
You want
He
to
said-
hypnotize Skeets to...
Just see if he knows anything, right?
He
we
asked
only
about
use a
his
certain
cousin. They hadn't spoken in years.
I don't know. There's something there, I think, and I'm just.
To be fair, I think hypnosis would fall under psychoanalysis.
Yes.
I believe that. Yeah. No, just to be clear, not medicine.
Yeah.
But psychoanalysis, which
It would make sense that we
Yeah.
would, so.
Just want to approach it in a way that when we first met him,
he was
not-
amazing.
Actually, not that
leave
long
my
ago.
leave my NPCs alone.
It's actually not been that long ago.
Yeah.
No, a
He
vague
had-
period of
He
time.
had talked about when he was like younger or living in this town. That everyone there had kind of. It was like he was describing everyone joining a cult, and they like to burn books.
That's right.
And he said reading books
Was
there's
dangerous.
nothing was dangerous and nothing could come out of it, or etc. And now we're looking at a link for something for the Church of Contemplation, our Lord, Granter of Secrets.
we don't got to say the full name.
I prefer
I-
if he didn't.
I'm saying it specifically in this case because it sounds to me like an excellent place to house a cult.
Oh, yeah. that's
So, perhaps if we knew more about this particular cult, that is a place where we could
Right.
start with Skeet.
Why don't we
Do
bring
you,
Simon
like,
in
if you
here?
think that he was, he would have seen some things if he was.
And he was highly uncomfortable talking about it. He just said there was no good that came out of reading books.
You're an alienist.
Yes.
I gotta just as a. I've run cases before where people claim, numbers of different ways that they're insane and how to get away from certain things. Is it possible that memories can be repressed?
Oh, absolutely.
Like complicated? Okay.
Absolutely, there is, especially if it was a traumatic experience. That's a way to keep your sanity. It's almost like a healing, not quite a healing mechanism, but it's a coping mechanism,
Yeah.
essentially, yes.
Well, he clammed up when we asked him about the whole book thing.
He did.
I'm wondering if this might not be a conscious effort. And if we're researching these gentlemen on behalf of the New England Center of Antiquities, then maybe we should bring Simon in here and see if he can enlighten us with some more. Instead of approaching it from the Skeet angle, I'm just saying let's keep our minds open about it. What if we continued to approach it from these four men either being the same or being way too connected?
I agree
Definitely,
that
I
Simon
believe there is
has
a
more
connection between
information.
them.
Mhm.
See if Simon has more information to fill in these blanks. And then if we need to, if there's no other way, we then see if we have to pull it out of Skeet.
And it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for Silver Twilight. They had set up shop inside that church.
We
So,
did say we were going to investigate the lodge. That was on our plans before chaos.
it's not outside the realm of possibility, especially if you're saying you can find references to this group for years and years and years, that we're talking about a cult. That they are, in fact, the cult we want.
Quick question. Did you lock the door to the dining ballroom, or did you just close the doors?
Was there a lock on it?
You can lock it, yeah.
That I would have, yes.
Okay, so at this point, you hear a knocking on the door.
I get up and I go and unlock it.
Okay, and Father O'Malley is standing there.
Father!
Now, give me a second, people. I'm really bad at this.
I'm glad to see you on your feet. Come in,
How
come
are
in,
you
have
doing?
something to
No,
eat.
that's not it.
Good.
Well, I will be fucked.
Well, we actually, we probably don't look too good because technically Amos is still in the
I
clothes he
can't
got blew
find
up in.
Well, I still look blown apart.
Potato.
Potato.
That's
Potato.
I know that's. I know what it is.
Pull out your boondock saints.
I can't do
I
that.
think that's what you did last time.
I'm so. Oh my god! I'm
Just-
so bad at
Just
this.
tell us he has an Irish accent and then speak in your natural accent and we will put it in our heads.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Oh,
Good enough. That's really
on
weak,
the
but I'll
way.
take it.
That's on the way.
How are you
We'll
doing?
take it.
It's fine.
I need to talk to you guys for a little bit.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Have a seat.
Well, why is the door locked? Everything's in an inflection.
Well, come on in, Mr. Question Mark, and we'll explain a little bit. Is Simon around?
Well, no, Simon, I think, went off with a couple of books. We can go get him in a couple of minutes or something, but I need to talk to you guys about something now that I've rested up.
All right, fair enough. All right,
Sure.
I'll close the door and I'll lock it again. Paranoia
We
is
need to
real.
go to Heinrich's.
What?
We need to go to Heinrich's house.
You mean the one that blew up the library and almost these two?
Well, he
Yeah.
won't be there. He won't be at his house.
I remember Barnabas
you know where
telling me
he
that he...
lives?
Oh, of course I do. I remember Barnabas
Oh,
telling me
right.
that he, when he came back from the war, he brought back a pile of stuff with him. And there might be things there that need to be dealt with. And maybe
Okay.
things that
Oh.
we don't want the Silver Twilight Lodge to get their hands on.
Then we need to go soon.
Well,
Yeah.
We need to be very careful.
I
That
go
man-
and get my Lee Enfield.
Of course.
Did you
That
ever let go of
man-
it?
Tripped my
in the lobby.
apartment
I was
to
gonna say, I
blow.
wasn't gonna take it in the,
the
dining
lobby.
room.
My house has a lobby. It's in the foyer.
I just need to have a glass of whiskey first.
Yeah, here, and I pour him one and push it his way.
How do I still
Just-
have whiskey in this house?
If we're
I also passed Father O'Malley a plate of food.
going to
Heinrich's.
Heinrich's place, thank you. If we're going to Heinrich's place, we're going to need to be very, very, very careful. That man rigged my apartment to blow from a single door. The damage you witnessed was a single door. I don't know how long he had in my apartment, but this is this man's house. You can safely assume that he has more than a single door tripped, and if it is, that is enough to take all of us out.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Call. Again, if you want to throw a tip our way for the show, please consider hitting that Ko-fi button on the Twisted Gear Studios website. In the coming weeks, we will likely be adding a subscriptionable option to the page as well. This won't change the page is currently set, but it will allow us to better gauge interest and start getting some rewards out to you as a thank you for your support. Votes for one-shots, maybe NPC suggestions. Feel free to let us know in our socials, things that you would like to see from this. Until then, our next episode will air Tuesday, October 6th, with Spacers on Tuesday, September 29th. The game system used today was the Call of Cthulhu 7th edition by Chaosium. Music, sound effects, and ambient tracks licensed through Triune Films, Video Co-Pilot, and Artlist. You can find all of Twisted Gears Studios' podcasts on YouTube, Google Play, Apple Music, and Spotify. Please follow and like Twisted Gear Studios on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Twisted Gear. Your players this evening were Janessa Coles, Lindsay Zelansky, Zach Barrett, and Elizabeth Wells. Your audio operator tonight was Rob Pickey, and your GM or keeper this evening was Derek Snow. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.